And right now on KREM 2 News at noon, after repeated acts of vandalism, the Spokane City Council could consider some new rules when it comes to hate crimes.
We have just a little bit of showers and some fall temperatures to start your week, but unseasonably warm temperatures are on the way.
Plus, at this hour, we are keeping a close watch on Gaza as the Israeli military moves closer now to the border. Hi everyone, it is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin with this. The Spokane City Council is set to introduce a resolution reaffirming Spokane's commitment to inclusion and belonging. This comes after several acts of vandalism that have targeted members and businesses in the LGBTQ community. The resolution is sponsored by Council members Zach Sapone and Ryan Ulrich. If passed, the resolution will call on Council to investigate all credible reports of hate crime incidents and threats against marginalized communities. It would also add an agenda item to change a code that concerns governing hate crimes to clarify that the law applies to public property and places. This comes as the Rainbow Crosswalk in the Perry District that was just cleaned up was yet again vandalized once again over the weekend. And you can see the new vandalism in these pictures and videos that we're sharing with you. Just over a week ago, the Odyssey Center was vandalized 3 different times within the span of just a few days, with spray painted slurs and paint poured over their Rainbow Crosswalk. Less than a week rather after that, and just a few doors down, the Wishing Tree bookstore was also vandalized.
Sadly, I think it is getting on people's, not nerves, but you know, it's making people a little tense.
As we mentioned, the ongoing vandalism caught the attention of the Spokane City Council, and Zach Sapone says this is a deliberate attack.
The LGBTQ community and the neighborhood at large now is kind of under attack.
Police have said earlier this week they're not investigating the vandalism as hate crimes. KREM 2 has reached out to police to see if that has indeed changed, and so far we have not heard back. All right, some wet and windy weather is expected around the inland northwest this afternoon. Nicole Hernandez is joining us today. You're in for Thomas. So what can we expect over the next several hours?
Laura, so right now things are looking pretty decent. We've just got some cloud cover. It's a little bit dry. It's actually a little bit warmer than it should be for the fall season, but we are looking forward to a little bit of rain coming just a little bit for this evening. Right now it is 64 degrees here in the Spokane area. Across the region, 50s and 60s depending on where you're at. That rain already hitting Wenatchee and Moses Lake as we're speaking, on our way to us here in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, inland northwest. As we look forward to the rest of the day, we're going to warm up just a tiny bit more, hitting those mid to high 60s depending on where you're at. Again, that is a little bit warmer than average right now, but we have a low pressure system that is kind of pushing onto the coast of Canada, and that's causing all this moisture as well as a cool down for tomorrow. But you can see Moses Lake, Othello, Omak coming up on Tri-Cities, getting some of that rain already. This is a fast moving system, so it's going to move up and come up to us pretty quickly here by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this evening. We see the first little batch, and then we see more kind of move through tonight. Some showers tomorrow as well. Overall, though, like I said, very fast-moving system. So ultimately, we don't get much time with the rain, which means we don't get much total rain. Really, kind of just small amounts of some drizzles.
Right now, coming in at noon, Israel has signaled that its ground invasion of Gaza could come at any moment with a mission to destroy Hamas. Thousands of people have been killed on both sides since the fighting began little more than a week ago. Natalie Brand has the latest developments that are happening in the Middle East.
Palestinians with dual citizenship crowded the border crossing from Gaza into Egypt Monday, hoping to flee the escalating violence.
I don't think this makes any sense. I mean, we are only citizens, we are not fighting, we are not doing anything, we are just living here.
In Gaza, rescue workers tried to retrieve casualties from the rubble following Israel's relentless airstrikes. Basic necessities, including food and water, are running dangerously low. As the Israeli military moves closer to the Gaza border, soldiers tell CBS News they are ready.
And we want to do it to finish it because they cut our friend's head and they killed too many people here.
Experts on the Middle East warn a ground war will be very bloody for the Israeli army. A Hamas propaganda video shows how the militants have prepared using their web of underground tunnels.
There are going to be improvised explosive devices, there will be booby traps, there will be suicide vests, this is very, very challenging.
President Biden's scheduled trip to Colorado today was postponed so he can focus on the growing conflict. On 60 Minutes last night, the president discussed the situation, including the hostages taken by Hamas, with the possibility Americans may be among those held.
It's pure barbarism, and we're going to do everything in our power to get them home if we can find them.
And as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken returned to Israel Monday pledging U.S. support, the Department of Defense released video of the USS Eisenhower carrier strike group deploying to the Mediterranean. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
People in Spokane came together over the weekend to stand in solidarity with those impacted by the destruction and war happening in the Middle East. People called and prayed for peace in Israel, and a rabbi from Chabad of Spokane County spoke to the images of death and destruction happening on the other side of the world. He says he knows there are people in Spokane's Jewish community likely hurting and in pain.
Every single generation, there's those who seek to annihilate us, to kill us. And there were two things that kept us. One is Jewish unity, and this evening, it's our brothers and sisters, fellow Americans who are standing here together with us. And the second thing that always stood with us is our faith in God.
The rabbi says people can support Israel by donating to families being impacted and those being broken up by the war.